Sunday's feature then is the Hong Kong Classic Mile. We'll have a look at that in a second. But you can head to the website as well, a multimedia showcase for HK Direct with a special on the favourite, Nothing I Like More, and special guest as well in Brett Davis. But the lineup for Sunday's start of the four-year-old series is headed by not unbeaten anymore, Nothing I Like More, defeated last time out, but John Size and Joe Murray. He'll be a short prize favourite for the 1600-metre contest. Exultant, very impressive over 2,000 metres, back to a mile here. Time to celebrate also for John Size, 3 from 5 this season. Singapore Sling, slashing win at Happy Valley last time out. Good standing, the scratching is out. Lockheed, beaten favourite on both his starts so far. More than lucky, rattling through the grades for Frankie Law, and down to Grand Chancellor. Goes up in class here. Now one of 2 in the race for John Moore with the scratching of good standing. We're here at the touchscreen to have a look at this race with the pace is going to be slow now, Brett, and potentially Lockheed in front and Nothing I Like More just sitting there ready to pounce. But he's the one maybe setting the pace.
It is a question mark, really, the speed of the race, isn't it? There's quite a few variables. I mean, Time to Celebrate is a horse that showed some tactical versatility in the past, so maybe he wants to roll forward and take up the lead, or it could be the option of Lockheed. Nothing I Like More has shown tactical versatility in the past as well. You would think that Joe might want to take a sit on the favourite, but another potential leader, Grand Chancellor, can race forward. So I don't think there's any real given noted sort of leader of the race, which could provide a little bit of a tactical battle for the Classic Mile.
There's a couple out the back that would love a solid tempo so they can close off. But what do you got for us for track work, Paul?
Well, we'll have a look at some of these horses. The first one is the favourite, or horse likely to start favourite, Nothing I Like More. John Size has got him ticking over very nicely here. He's coming out of his last start with no issues, and he moves very well. So he's cherry ripe going into this contest. Really like this piece of work from Rivet. He's very improved. He's the one on the inside there. Just Let Us Win's normally a really good track worker, but Rivet was just going away from him at the end. I thought this was a mighty effort from him. So I did like his track work. He's an interesting one coming in, and Lockheed's doing it well. You know, he's had these few starts now, and he's going to come into this race nicely. So those last couple, they bring the good form from the UK. So it's going to make it a really good contest, I think. Yeah, and of course, Craig Williams in town to ride Lockheed as well. Let's start off with the favourite, though, and Joe Murray speaking with Ed Sell. His thoughts on that last start defeat.
Joe, Nothing I Like More. He was beaten last time out, but did that performance change your opinion of this horse in any way?
Not at all. To me, he's a very nice horse still. He was beaten by a very good horse, I think. He was beaten by circumstances as well, as his last start, he missed the start. He wasn't able to jump on terms and put himself in a proper position where would give him every chance to win. But to answer your question, I definitely still think that he's a very good horse and capable to be winning Group 1 in the future.
Heading to the Classic Mile on Sunday, obviously taking on a lot of good four-year-olds, but he's the top-rated one. Is this his race to win, do you think?
I think so. Obviously, we do respect some other horses in the race, as it's a Group 1. You have to respect them all. No one else go for those races just for fun. But I'm certainly on top of the horse that I would like to be, because he's been so good so far, and I'm very pleased and happy to have him as a rider.
So Joe explaining the reasons for that defeat last time. He still ran through the line though pretty strongly.
He did, yeah. It was a great effort against the older horses in defeat. And if you go and have a look at his 2 trials since in preparation for the Classic Mile, he's began faultless from the gates, has stepped perfectly. So I wouldn't expect it to happen again.
So this is it fell out of fall out of the gate. He was awkward out of the gates. He's come wide here. Southern Legends beaten him ultimately in the run to a line, but he's still. Performance for a very good horse, Paul.
Yeah, really good. And the best part of this was when he really flattened out late and he almost got up. You know, he's running past Group 1 horses and Giant Treasure in this particular contest as well. And it was a really good run first up against the older horses. He's now back to his own age group, and I think he's going to be very tough to beat. Stepping up to the mile, the way he ran this, I think the mile's not going to be a problem, is it? No,
I wouldn't have thought so. Yeah, it's a great effort in defeat, narrowly beaten. You know, his effort prior to that was sizzling. So the ratings suggest he's the one to beat, and I think everything's gone to plan since that performance for him. So he's the rightful favourite.
Yeah. Okay. So we worry about the Derby later on. Yeah. On Sunday, he's the one to be chasing. All right. Some of the main chances here, and we'll look at Exultant, who was a slashing win himself last time out, but this was over 2,000 metres.
That's right, Andrew. If you want to sort of, look ahead and sort of talk Derby now, you would say Exultant probably would be the Derby favourite on this performance against some very classy horses at 2,000 metres. Just a devastating turn of foot he's got, but coming back to the mile is the big question for him. Having said that, he sort of really tested 50-50 the last 100 the last time he ran at the mile and reeled off a very good final sectional. So if he can sort of be within a 3 lengths of Nothing I Like More when they kick at the 350, there's a chance that he maybe be able to threaten.
Yeah, no, I think as a lead up to a Derby, this race in its own right, I haven't got him on top because I think Nothing I Like More. But in the future, as you guys have mentioned, then he's definitely the one going forward you'll take out of this race. But I just think it might be a bit sharp for him. All
right, OK, that's Exultant. Next one we can have a look at is Time to Celebrate. So another one of John Sizes here. He's just in the middle of pack of horses, 2 of which we need to take note of as well, which are Rivet and the other one being Dragon Lips.
Well, Dragon Lips, I don't think he's quite ready, although I've read in the press that they're expecting a noticeable improvement from his first run to his second. But it's interesting, Paul highlighted Rivet's track work as being noticeable, that he's particularly picked up in the morning. So he's another one that might improve. Time to Celebrate's a tricky one because he's sort of shown pace in the past and he's come from back in the field and won. So he's just sort of, the tradesman-like performances. And the rating suggests that he'll run third on what he's done so far. So it's hard to disrespect him.
No, definitely. And John Size got a really good second string to his bow here. I think Rivet's improved from that run as well, so I wouldn't be surprised. He was a very expensive horse coming into Hong Kong and did come with group form from the UK. I think he's settled in now, so I wouldn't be expecting. I expect a good improvement from him. All
right, he's a Group 1 winner as a 2-year-old. Rivet won the Racing Post Trophy. Now, of course, John Moore did have good standing as well. He's scratched. We spoke to Tommy Berry about good standing, but with his scratching, here are his thoughts on the other runners.
I think over the mile, I think Ruthin, you'll probably be the better one when he gets up, closer to the Derby trip, maybe even the 1800. But we'll find out a lot more on Sunday over the mile. Grand Chancellor looks a little bit one pace for the mile as well, coming back in trip. And Rivet's one that could surprise. He's had more runs than the rest of them. He's got the runs on the board. He was an impressive run last start where he shot through. He's much fitter now, and if he puts his mind on the job from a good barrier, he's one that could shock a lot of people.
I think I said that John already had 2 in the race. He's still got 3 with the scratching. But Rivet may be the one here then?
Yeah, well, that's what Paul's suggesting as well from the track work. I mean, you've got all these horses coming from different places. Some have settled, some have acclimatised, some are still making their progress. And obviously Rivet is one that is now gradually making progress because his first couple were a little ordinary.
Yeah, they were very much so. His last run did show that he's not far away. And that track work to me shows he's going to go into this race with a big chance.
All right. Well, Tommy's also been associated with. He rode him last time out in Singapore Sling. This was at Happy Valley, but it was a super effort when he got out wide.
It was, and he reeled off a real good turn of acceleration. His form from South Africa suggested the mile's perfect, and Tony Millard has been quite bullish in what he's been saying about this horse going forward. This was quite a quality race. Of course, the horse that he cuts down here, Beauty Prince, then went onto the dirt and really tested Classic Emperor on the dirt. Yeah. And they're talking about taking Classic Emperor to the World Cup, so it's a pretty good form line, even though he's only won 1 race, Beauty Prince. He's a really good measuring stick. I think Singapore Sling has really acclimatised quickly, and because of that factor, he needs to be noticed as a serious chance.
Yeah, and I think he's been set for this race. Some of the other horses might be set for future assignments, but I think he's been really targeted in this mile race.
Yeah, good point. Might appreciate another one with a solid tempo, but more than lucky. He's been a bit of a revelation this season, hasn't he, already? And Frankie Law finds himself with a classic mile runner in his first season.
Yeah, Benno Jung just sort of struggled to find him a bit of form with him when he had him last season, but he's gone up 29 points this term, and he's still a long way, obviously, out of the handicap when you look at his 82 as opposed to the 112 that Nothing I Like More's got. But he has recorded some fast times over the 1,600 metres, the distance they're going to run. 1:33.78 he recorded 3 back, which is one of the quickest mile races we've seen all season. Should he bring that form to race day, it suggests that he can be very competitive, but he is a long way out of the handicap when you look at the form on the paper.
He's definitely a big improver, and we'll know a clearer picture of him after the weekend. Yeah.
All right, but the favourite very hard to oppose?
Yeah, very hard to oppose. He's there in the ratings. You know, other horses would have to give him weight and on a normal handicap situation. So we're going to get him on top. Rivet, the big improver from his track work and his 3 runs to here, we'll put him in for second. Exultant, I think he'll be running on late. He's got that good turn of foot, and he needs further, I think, but he still can run well here. And Lockheed's not far away. I've liked his runs here to date as well. So 1, 6, 2 and 9 for me. I'll be playing a test.
We were really touting him as a real superstar, nothing I like more, and then he tasted defeat, but I don't think that's taken any of the gloss off the situation. He's still the horse they have to beat here at the mile, and we'll learn more about him heading towards the Classic Cup and the Derby. Exultant, I think, going to go the racebook order here with the handicaps. 1 to beat 2. Singapore Sling, I think, will run well, and Time to Celebrate. 1, 2, 5 and 3.
Exactly the same as Brett. Nothing I like more, clearly the one to beat. 1, 2, 5 and 3 from me in the Classic Mile. 1 race to go and probably 1 more odds-on favourite to come. Final event, that's up next.